Although nutrition is essential to all life, surprisingly little is known about the biological, biochemical, and emotional profile of our taste preferences.
We all have our favorite foods and flavors that we associate with the happy nostalgia of childhood that we turn to during times of stress. Understanding the language of flavor is critical to developing successful alternative foods and sustainable proteins.
The eating experience is a multi-sensory approach. So the appearance, the flavor, the taste, the aroma, the texture of the product, these are all sensory touch points that we need to make sure we address in order for the product to be successful to consumers. So when plant-based food is presented in a rendang format, it brings back nostalgia, the feeling of mother's kitchen, feelings of well-being and stability from childhood. So that's why it's one of the drivers that will allow people to buy these products. To truly understand consumers, we conducted digital ethnography and sensory immersions where we virtually stepped into the homes and kitchens of consumers around the world and observed consumers preparing as well as eating plant-based burgers. We did a quantitative study with 1,500 consumers around the world, 385 in each country, asking them to assess the 15 sensory statements to determine the hierarchy of appeal, purchase intent, uniqueness, believability, as well as association to deliciousness. We recruited two groups of consumers. The first group of consumers that we recruited are what we call flexitarians. These are meat reducers, or people that's actively trying to reduce meat intake and increase plant-based consumption. The second group of people that we interviewed in the focus group, for example, they are the vegetarians or the vegan groups.
And Kerry's global consumer taste study delivered some eye-opening insights.
The cooking process was probably the most surprising insight that we get as well. People were really interesting of seeing how the plant-based product was cooking. They don't want to eat, when you cook a meat something, it doesn't break, it doesn't and you hear the sleezings and you see the color changing as well. Similar expectations. They do expect the similar expectations. When I want to cook something plant-based, I wanted something as close as what I used to do. And that's why for me, I think the perfection's in it. It's about making things that are closer to what we used to do with meat, deliver taste, deliver mouthfeel, deliver great appearance, deliver a great cooking process, as simple as meat as well, but adding nutrition value and the sustainable angle.
The global taste study shows that we seem to prefer what we know. If we grew up with our grandparents cooking stir-fried chicken and mushroom, we would prefer our plant-based meats to come in the same style as well.
To create a totally new food is very challenging for a chef because customers don't know what to expect from your new food. So the familiarity of the food, in terms of the look, the taste, also the texture is very important. The first time they try it, they love it, they will come back for more. If you don't really make it closer to the real thing, they may be disappointed and don't meet the expectation, and it's more difficult for your new product to fly.
Asia's fast-growing population means increasing nutritional needs. Millennials are interested in trying new and sustainable sources of proteins.
One of the most important sustainable goals is to reduce food waste, but also to drive food safety across the industry. So plant-based industry, it's one of the solutions to it. Okay, there is much more, it's easier to transport plants than transport meat. Now, we have seen also, we've experimented with COVID, a real life case of 2 years now, more than 2 years, that the risk of contaminations, the risk of driving virus or the solution from the animals. So food safety is one of the raising concerns. Plant-based could help us to have more control on this aspect. Driving solutions around food preservations and protections, it's a key element to reduce food waste across the industry. So if we can tackle, let's say, health issues, if we can tackle sustainable issues, and if we can tackle food waste and food safety issues, then I believe we will drive a more sustainable, more nutritious food industry for Asia.